cars, and we also have the tools and equipment so they have everything they need to make sure your car is working perfectly.
Call Al's D&I to set up your appointment at 348-1447.
Introducing First Gold Gaming Resort's new mobile app. Now you can experience everything First Gold has to offer right in the palm of your hand, including special deals on lodging, gaming, and dining. Book a room in our Travelodge by Wyndham or check out First Gold's newest promotions. Download the First Gold mobile app today on Google Play or the App Store and get $20 in promo play. Free to download with unmatched benefits. The new mobile app from First Gold Gaming Resort. It's where Deadwood begins and the winning never ends.
In Rapid City, you've got a friend in real estate. Hi, I'm Ellen Roach. When buying or selling your home or property, Will Dixon is the man to see.
Will invites you to experience the Keller Williams culture. Whether you're buying or selling, he can assist you through the entire process with a free market analysis and advise you on all your options. Will handles all phases of real estate and has built a track record for success. Call Will Dixon at Keller Williams Black Hills, 390-1140, and let him be your friend in real estate.
Sometimes it's just a whoops, sometimes it's a oh no, and sometimes it's an all-out ah! Whatever it is, J&J Truck and Auto Body can take care of it with traditional methods or paintless dent repair because they are a PPG certified and iCar Gold Class shop with ASE certified technicians. Plus, they work with your insurance company, saving you time. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
J&J Truck and Auto Body, 100%.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
We are Fox Sports.
And here's what you need to know.
Game one of the ALDS showdown between the Mariners and Astros right now is in the sixth inning in Houston, and the Mariners are doubling up the Stros 6-3. Justin Verlander has already been chased from the game, has allowed 10 hits and 6 earned runs in just 4 innings of work. Phillies dropped the Braves today 7-6 to grab game one of their best-of-5 National League Divisional Series. Guardians and Yankees coming up in about 90 minutes. Padres and Dodgers later on tonight. Dodgers left reliever Craig Kimbrell off the team's NLDS roster. Former Angels communications director Eric Kay sentenced to 22 years in prison after he was convicted on charges of supplying opioids to former Angels pitcher Tyler Skaggs, who died of an overdose in 2019. ESPN reports that the NFL continues to investigate the incident involving Raiders wide receiver Davante Adams pushing a photographer following last night's loss to the Chiefs. Kansas to be without quarterback Jalen Daniels for the rest of the season, according to the Lawrence Journal World.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, live interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest local stories. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, good Tuesday afternoon to you. Glad you're here. I appreciate that. Fox Sports Rapid City. It's always a great day in the Black Hills. Getting a little cooler out there. You might notice that. We'll crank things up today. The Nate Brown Show is back. We're live. Rapid City Sports Talk Show ready to go on Fox Sports Rapid City. 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, and stream us there, foxsportsrapidcity.com, live on your phone. A lot of ways you can get in on the show. Watch us on Twitter, at Nate Brown Show. Watch us also on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. And you've got us, The Nate Brown Show, brought to you in part by Black Hills Urgent Care, my official urgent care when it comes to me and my family. They take care of us, get us better quicker, and you're in it and you're out. They're on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. If you start feeling sick, get into Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better. Open 7 days a week, no appointment needed, but I always schedule on my phone. It's really convenient. You can get right in, no wait, in the lobby if you do that most of the time, right? BHUcare.com with the letter U. Just schedule right there, BHUcare.com. That's Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better. Back on a Tuesday on South Dakota Sports Talk Show, and a great guest lineup coming up. Let's look at it. Kevin Figures will join us, AM 570, Los Angeles. Dodgers getting set tonight. It'll be interesting, huh? Dodgers, Padres. NL West battle, Dodgers, Padres. We'll get into that and a little bit more with Kevin Figures, AM 570 Los Angeles, Fox Sports Radio. Craig Maddox on tonight. East River meets West River. SD Prep segment and more with Craig. SDPB Sports live from Sioux Falls. Craig Maddox, one of our regulars, is in. Frank Schwab's on, NFL writer, Yahoo Sports. A lot to look at after Week 5 is now officially in the books. We'll talk NFL. Frank Schwab, NFL writer for Yahoo Sports. Hey, it's the Dakota Marker game. Do you know this? It's the big showdown. NDSU against SDSU this weekend in Fargo. Oh, we got to go to Mike McFeely tonight. Covers the Bison for Inforum, columnist for Inforum.com. Mike McFeely, one of the favorite guests on the program. Let's get a preview of the Bison Jackrabbits Dakota Marker Showdown Saturday with Mike. And John Bryce stops by, national college football writer for Football Scoop. A busy Tuesday show, some great guests and great content. Let's get ready to go. Thought-provoking sports talk inviting you on today, 720-1067. Call us on the studio line, 720-1067. So you got that. And the Barron's Wilson text line, open and ready. Direct text the show if you want to be a part of the show, 720-1067. That's the Barron's Wilson listener text line. So we're all set. Let's get going. All right, there's a few different things I want to hit here. A few different things I want to hit. And you tell me if this is overreacting. Are we outraged about everything these days? I mean, we can get outraged about everything. This person gets wronged, and we're gonna sue this guy, and something happens, and we're outraged, and somebody says something, and we're outraged. We're just upset about everything. I'm saying this because I come into a Tuesday show thinking, hey, we're going to talk a little about roughing the passer. You know, in game last night, Mahomes got tossed to the ground, just like Brady did on Sunday, but nothing was called last night. Wow, the Raiders tossed Mahomes to the ground, quarterback sack. Brady gets tossed to the ground, roughing the passer. Then Derek Carr gets hit from behind, the ball is stripped. It's roughing the passer. I don't know if I'm losing my mind if I'm watching these games or not. I'm starting to wonder, what's the real story? So I was thinking, we're going to talk roughing the passer a little bit and kind of dig into, should that be a reviewable play? So I'm going to get into that. I wanted to hit on that. But I have to say, are we outraged about everything? Here's what's happened in the last week when it comes to fans, NFL players, and some dust-ups, shall we call them, some dust-ups. Here's what's happened in the last week. A fan ran onto the field in the Rams game, Rams 49ers. That was Monday Night Football. Fan runs onto the field with a flare, right? He had a smoking flare going on, and the Rams linebacker, Bobby Wagner, drilled him, knocked him down for the security guards to take him off the field. Well, here's what's out today from the Santa Clara Police Department. That fan last week filed a police report, and I was thinking, oh boy, are we serious about this stuff? Is this serious? Yes, it is. The individual went to the police department. The police report is out saying the fan suffered multiple injuries, a burn on his arm, and a concussion. From the hit from the Rams' Bobby Wagner. So the protesting fan was hit by Wagner. Now the protesting fan has the police report, and he's going to be going down this road. What else is going to happen? What else is going to happen? What does this fan want? What is this fan trying to get? And everybody act like, oh, this was just a, here's what one of the women from the animal rights organization that had the protest that sustained an injury. The protester sustained an injury from the smoke flare. That was the burn on the arm and a concussion. I got to tell you, we're getting into this category of if somebody can do something wrong, like the protesting fan, they can do something wrong, and then blame somebody else for what they did wrong. Thus, the police report, I got a concussion from Bobby Wagner because you ran onto the field. So that's out today. The protesting fans, and this was in Sports Illustrated today. Wagner laid a massive hit on the fan from a grassroots animal rights organization, Direct Action Everywhere. His name's Alex Taylor, and they're trying to raise awareness. You can't get onto the field. I mean, somebody does something wrong, and now we're going to blame Bobby Wagner. So who's going to be on the hook for this? And now we get into the Davante Adams thing last night. I've watched that video today over and over and over. You heard these guys talk about it earlier today. Davante Adams pushed a photographer, and now the photographer has filed a police report. He sustained multiple injuries last night as well. Now, that guy didn't do anything wrong. I'm not going to say he's the fan, but I'm going to say, are we just a little too soft? Are we just taking things too far? If I got knocked down at a game like that, I'm covering a game, I got to tell you, if I got knocked down like that, I would not be filing a police report. That's just me. I wouldn't be doing it. Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
Well, that's the problem. There's no accountability for anybody anymore. None.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Should
you could do? People think they could do whatever they want and get away with it. They really do. As society anymore, I see more and more of it. It's like in Wagner. Was there? I didn't see a penalty flag on the hit, so it couldn't have been a ruffian. So he should be. It should be legal hit. So there was he brought in the stinking flare.
Yes. He acts like, I got burned on my arm. I know.
No kidding, you did. It's hard to believe you did. You were carrying a flare, and there it's safety, right? I mean, it's safety. No way would I think about going out there and doing. It's like going into somebody's house, robbing them, tripping on their table, and then suing them.
Yes.
It's like, what?
I'm serious. I'm like, where are we going here? It sounds goofy, but it's going, and it's actually going through a police department going, well, we got to look at this.
And everybody's got to do it because of what's happening in society lately, because now if you don't act as a police, then they think you're not doing your job. Everybody's watching on it.
Right.
And we do it with everything now. You're afraid to say, and you're in the perfect profession to be thinking about it. You got to watch your P's and Q's all the time.
Yes, you are right. Yes, no doubt.
And you may not even mean it to sound like that, but somebody's going to take it that way, and they're going to run with it.
I know that. Believe me.
So,
all right, buddy. Well, I appreciate it.
Good luck with your public speaking.
Thank you. I need that sometimes. Yes, that's what I mean. I do a 2-hour radio show here, and again, I say we don't script this. I plan it, okay? But it's not scripted. I'm going to say this, and my producers write the show for me, like some people, and it's all buttoned up and everything. No, we try and be spontaneous. We try and have a little thought-provoking interaction back and forth. Maybe I agree, maybe I disagree. I could say this, and do I get in trouble if I say we're getting a little soft now? Yeah, actually, I have. I have gotten in trouble. I've said, well, it seems a little soft. I can't even remember the incident I was talking about. And people say, I can't believe you would say that. I mean, you have the lack of respect for that other human. I can't believe you would say that. I said, what do you mean? Everybody should get fluffy pancakes. It's the perfect world, right? We all want fluffy pancakes. By the way, I just asked this question of the day. Let me ask this. Do you believe football players like Bobby Wagner of the Rams a week ago should hit or take down a protester if they run on the field? Let's just throw it out there. In 2022, everything's PC, right? Politically correct, and you got to be so careful. You don't want to upset the protester. What do you mean? The protester's disrupting the whole game. He's got a pink smoke flare, and he's running around. What's he going to do? One of these times, a protester is going to go too far. Let me just project that for you. One of these times a protester is going to go too far and something may happen. Something may happen. So I'm going to ask you, do you think the players can take down the protester? That's my question of the day. Because, boy, this guy has a concussion now, this fan from last week, and a burn on his arm. And get this. The report says it's unclear if the burn is due to Wagner's hit or the pink smoke flare. It is? Am I lost? Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
Accountability. Isn't that the word that young man used?
Yes.
Okay. The first guy, yeah, I would have laid him out.
Okay.
And probably
the pink
choked him
smoke
to death.
flare guy. This pink smoke flare guy. Right?
I probably would have snapped his neck like in hand-to-hand combat.
Ouch.
So I ain't worried about that one.
Okay.
No, you're an idiot. You have to be an idiot. Nate, point a fake gun at a combat vet. You get what you get.
Okay.
That's different, but I'm just saying. Okay, last night.
Yes,
come
last night.
on.
It's different. It's different.
So, Nate, if I see you at a soccer game, my kid's on one side, yours is on the other. Your kid just bypasses mine, does this 360 turnaround, scores a goal. And I come over and drop you.
Drop
Are
me?
you fine with that?
Drop me?
Are you fine with that?
No,
Are you
here's the thing. I'm walking. I'm not paying attention. The cameraman wasn't paying attention. He's walking. Devontae shouldn't have pushed him. He shouldn't have pushed him, Steve. But if I'm that cameraman, I'm not so soft that I'm filing a police report today. Come on.
No, you know, Nate, where's that word again? What's that word that young man used?
So Devontae needs to be held accountable. What are we going to do? Is he going to have to pay $1 million?
You know what's funny?
$1 million?
No, I wouldn't give the guy. No, I suspend him for 2 games.
Really?
He ain't doing nothing anyway. My God, they've lost, 4 games? No, Nate, accountability. I tell you what, if I was a 40-year-old man like I used to be, and something happened like that to me, I'd be like, let's try it. I'd rather kick your ass. But no, you see, where's my accountability, Nate? If I give you a shove at a soccer game because your kid did that 360.
No, that's if I almost run in front of you. I almost run in front of you, and we kind of bump each other. I'm like, no,
Nate,
biggie.
that was no bump. That was no
push.
bump.
It was a push. Yeah, it was a push. But I'm just not going to sue you over it. I'm not going to sue you over it.
He needs to be suspended. Let's go back to Tom Brady. Now, this is why I really wanted to call.
Oh.
All right, a few years ago, protest, all that, fans got divided. All right, now we've bypassed that. We've moved on. Now you got Tom Brady being tackled. Nate, I hear it on these. Where's the accountability for that?
It's not there. I'll tell you that much. By the way, your guy Mahomes got tackled last night. Mahomes got tackled the same way. They didn't call anything last night.
Nate, I had $110. I'm going with that upset with Atlanta.
Yeah,
okay.
right. I know what you're saying.
I'm just saying, you know what? 20 years ago, the Gotti family, big bookies, what would they have done with that?
You got hosed on that puppy, I'll tell you.
Dude, if you're cheating at a sport, or if they think it's fixed, look what happened to horse racing. No, football's not going down the hill. But you just lost a bunch of fans.
Well,
they're why watch?
I think it's getting to a line where they got to address it. I do. By the way, question of the day, Steve. Can players take down protesting fans? Can you take them down?
Can I take down a player for disrespecting or protesting against me?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
If you run out of the field, if you run out of the field, you're fair game to me. That's what I say.
You didn't say that in the question, though.
That's what I'm talking about. Protester runs on the field. Can I take him down? I'm a player. I think so.
I'd call you a girl if you didn't.
Okay, here we go.
I would march in front of your house and say, hey.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
I don't have to be careful.
Thanks. I appreciate
Have a good one, bud.
All right. By the way, Troy Aikman said something last night, and everybody's upset about that, too. I mean, we're just going down this road. Everybody's upset about everything. Listener text, you are on the field at your own risk. You were on the field at your own risk. Yes, and you got on the field. That's mistake number one. That's a big mistake. So I ask you this because some people say that's not the player's job. The player's job, like Bobby Wagner of the Rams, isn't to take down the protester. Well, I understand, but the security guards are trying to chase him down and the whole thing. And I said, what if a protester goes too far? What if a streaking fan goes too far? Then what happens? Well, they have security to let guys into the stadium. Yeah, I understand. But what if I'm a player on the field, I'm taking you down? If I am a player on the field and a fan runs onto the field, I'm taking you down. This has all happened in the last week. And now you had some young kid who actually ran onto the field at the Tampa Bay game Sunday. And he got jackhammered by a security guard, and then everybody was upset about that. Everybody's upset, oh, this is just a kid. We got to talk to his mom. This is a kid. The police department in Tampa Bay is looking at that now. Well, no, he's not 10. He's older than that. What the hell is he doing running on the field? I mean, we talk about these fans that act so poorly in stadiums and yell at players and say terrible things, and they need to be held accountable, right? They need to be held accountable. Saying this to players and saying that and just being jackwagons, they need to be held accountable. Yet we're actually like thinking about, wow, how did this guy get burned by, he got a burn on his arm and a concussion from Bobby Wagner. Oh, police report. I wonder where this is going to go. Throw it out. I mean, this is absurd. Listener text, Steve seems a bit more edgy than usual. I don't think the Chiefs are as elite as they thought they were. Well, that could be. Listener text, I'm filing the lawsuits because the players have the net worth. I'm going to try and get some of that money. Yes, you are, aren't you? You are. And we can't do it. We just can't do it. By the way, my point on the Davante Adams thing last night, Davante made a mistake. If you watch the video, he's frustrated about the Raiders' loss, which Josh Mishandles messed that up again. Anyway, it's a great nickname, right? Josh Mishandles, he did it again last night. Could have kicked the extra point, tied the game, might have went to overtime, but went for 2, 4.5 minutes left, something else. But the Raiders lose. Davante's upset. He did push the photographer. I watched the video over and over today from above, from field level. It wasn't a good move by Davante Adams. Not a good move, pushing the photographer. My point is what that listener just said. Yes, they're filing the lawsuits, potentially, or the police reports, to go down that road. I would not go down that road. I've covered numerous games, okay? If I ran in front of Michael Jordan back in the Wizards, I was back in D.C. when he was with the Wizards. If I ran in front of Michael Jordan, my idol, and he pushed me because I didn't see him, and he pushed me and I fell down, I'd feel embarrassed. I'd be like, holy crap, sorry. My bad. No, I'm going to file a police report against Michael Jordan. Come on. Let's just take it easy. It's not an outrage about everything. Not everybody has life-threatening injuries, okay? Not everything's going to be okay. We don't need to go crazy over everything. Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
He kind of darts in front of him a little bit. He gets shoved to the ground. 5 steps later, he was like, ugh, what did I just do?
Maybe. Yeah, Davante? Yeah, he's probably like, uh-oh.
He should have, at that point, or when he got back to the locker room and chilled out and said, go find that guy. I want to talk to him.
Yeah, I mean, he apologized, right? He apologized, but my point is I just think we take things too far. I'm just saying, if I'm covering sports and that happens to me, I honestly will say I'm not going to file a police report. My life is not in danger.
No, I wouldn't even accept a dime out of that. I'd be like, feel like an idiot taking money for that. It's like, you know what? It happened, something small, and it is spur of the moment things, even just off the field sometimes.
Yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't good. It wasn't good, right?
Oh, no, it didn't look good, but it didn't look horrible to me.
All right, man, I'm with you on it. Thanks for getting in. I appreciate that. No, I think that's right. I mean, we make everything the biggest deal ever. We make everything now, it's like in the sports world, the biggest thing ever. And it's not. Bobby Wagner takes down a protester, and we're trying to figure out, did he go too far? No. Let's update the poll here. Can football players hit or take down fans that run on the field? Can football players hit or take down fans that run on the field? 80% of you voting saying yes, take them down. 20% say no, the players have to stay out of it. Well, what if that fan's running right by me with the pink flare? He's running right by me with the pink flare. He's going to burn me. I'm taking him down. Teach these guys a lesson. Let's not open up a Pandora's box here. Everyone's like, oh, wow, you can get on the field and now you don't have to worry about anything. You can outrun some overweight security guards and, yeah, we're going to have some fun. Take them down. As a matter of fact, take their head off. That's what I'd say. That's what I say. Listener text, yes, the players should absolutely take out the fans. Yes, the players should absolutely take out the fans. Listener text, Bobby was protecting his teammates. Yeah, yes, I like your thinking. I like it. Listener text, yes, players should take down the fans. We're getting more support here. Listener text, anyone that goes on any field takes the chance of anything happening. I believe it's on the ticket you bought that you can't go on the playing surface. He should be fined. On a side note, it was the best stop the Rams defense has had all year. Bada bing, bada bang. Thank you for contributing. Not a bad text. I like that. I mean, here it is. Fan runs onto the field. Bobby Wagner takes him down. He files a police report. It's absurd. He has a concussion. The news out today, a concussion and a burn on his arm. The burn on his arm might have been caused by Bobby Wagner or the flare he was holding. I can't decide. This is Real Headlines in SI. And then Devontae Adams pushes the photographer. I didn't like it, Devontae. You didn't help him up. It was a bad look. The guy isn't going to lose much, okay? I watched the video. We're not talking, I mean, are we going to find out tomorrow he has a concussion? Boy, his neck snapped back. He has a concussion. Just wait for it. This is absurd. Frank Schwab's in next. NFL writer for Yahoo Sports on the way.
From high school to college to the pros, this is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
Warren Chemical and Equipment Company reminds you fall is not the time to be backing off on your lawn care. In fact, it's a very important time of the season for your lawn. First off, fall is the most important time to fertilize your lawn. We recommend Warren's Best Lawn Fertilizer. It's specially formulated for Black Hills soils. Fall is also a great time to get control of those lawn weeds with the right lawn herbicide that you need for fall weed control. Or you can call Warren Chemical for custom application. Give us a call. Warren Chemical and Equipment Company, 342-7644.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A high wind warning begins at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning and continues until 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. A wind advisory continues until 6 p.m. this evening. Lows level off around 41. Tonight, under mainly clear skies, westerly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, high of 56. Tomorrow night, lows around 41. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 55.
Need tires? Danny Menho Toyota will beat anyone's price on tires. Plus, give you 2-year road hazard coverage at no extra charge. And for a limited time, get up to $100 rebates on sets of 4 tires. Our experts help you get the right tires for your vehicle, and we meet or beat any price. Give you 2 years of road hazard coverage and up to a $100 rebate. That's how we roll. See us at Danny Menho Toyota or justhowweroll.com.
All right, I think we're all ready for some football, and Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort is the place to stay and play in Deadwood. If you want to bet on the biggest games, watch the games, and also play your favorite table games and have a great dinner, Cadillac Jack's and BetMGM allows you to do it all in one place. The king of sportsbooks, BetMGM, teaming up with Cadillac Jack's from college football to the NFL. Make your plans now to experience Cadillac Jack's with BetMGM Sportsbook. How will your game play out?
Hi, this is Jeremy with Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, inviting you to kickstart your morning by dropping by and grabbing some fresh donuts. I want to thank you for voting us the best in the Black Hills. We're up early making your favorite donuts, so stop by and bring some to the office. Everybody loves Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, and we love you, so stop by, get a great selection to brighten up your day. Serving Rapid City for over 40 years, Jerry's Cakes and Donuts at 109 East Omaha, and remember to like Jerry's on Facebook for some great giveaways.
Hey, this is Rob Parker from The Odd Couple. Don't miss our show weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. And now we'll send you back to Rapid City Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown.
Lively start today. I love it. How you doing? Thanks for being here. The Nate Brown Show, thought-provoking sports talk, a little debate. We like it. Fox Sports Rapid City. 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Bring us up at foxsportsrapidcity.com. Live stream on your phone all the time. Thanks for checking in on the Barron's Wilson text line. We just got a text here. Should players be able to take down fans that run onto the field? There's a police report against Bobby Wagner from a week ago, Rams 49ers. I say yes. 80% of you say yes. But there's a few that have disagreed with that. 20% of the audience today says no, players need to stay out of this mess. And then you had Davante Adams look last night, that wasn't good. I didn't like Davante doing that. But if I'm the photographer, I'm not filing the police report. That's my position. I'm covering games. I'm not doing that. Frank Schwab's in tonight. NFL writer, covers betting, does a great job. YahooSports.com. Find him on Twitter at Yahoo Schwab. Frank, thanks for coming on. How are you?
Doing well.
Hey, man, let me ask you about these fan interactions here. I just look at it and I say a fan runs onto the field. What's the right thing for players to do? Frank?
I maybe shouldn't say this out loud, but I had no problem with what Bobby Wagner did. Look, if you come onto an NFL field to protest something and you're carrying like a smoke bomb or whatever, you get what's coming to you. I'm sorry, you are you should know fully that you are stepping into a violent world at that point, and you don't belong there, and you were trying to create a scene. I just have no sympathy for it. I really don't. Don't go on the field. It's not that hard. It's not like there should be any, there's any leeway there. Like, you go onto the field, you get what you get. That's kind of my attitude on it. Now, should a kid be getting? No, probably not. But
what was that kid doing? That was my point, too. Who's watching that kid? I don't know how old that kid was the other day. That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. I agree with that. But, as far as, if you are an adult and you are trying to protest at a game and you go onto the field, again, if you get slammed by a 245-pound Bobby Wagner, well, you don't go on the field. It won't happen. I promise you that. So, yeah, I'm sorry, not a whole lot of sympathy for that guy on the field in San Francisco a couple weeks ago.
Okay, so let's go to last night. Now, this is different, and I said it is different, but here's a photographer. Doesn't really seem aware of where he's going. Davante's getting ready to walk through the tunnel after a very frustrating loss for the Raiders. And he runs in front of Davante. Davante does push him. He didn't kind of push him. He pushed him. And he knocked him down. That guy filed a police report. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. But it happened. And now I wonder, what's the NFL going to do?
Yeah, really a much different scenario there where, most people have never been on a sideline after an NFL game, but people are scurrying around, and I'm assuming, I haven't heard this guy's story. I don't even know who he is. I haven't seen if he's talked at all today or anything, but he's probably getting in a position to take a shot of, maybe Andy Reid coming off the field or Mahomes or something like that, or maybe even trying to get, something on the field if Mahomes and Carr are meeting in midfield. I mean, people are just scurrying around. They have jobs to do. And should he have run right in front of Davante Adams at that moment? No, I mean, there's some fault there. But Davante can't do that. And it was bad, obviously. And then I thought his non-apology in the locker room afterwards was even worse, because you could tell that somebody on the Raiders was like, hey, man, people know that you kind of shoved this guy down. And I don't think Davante Adams knew the video was out there, I'll be honest, because his explanation of, this guy run into me and bumped into me, and I kind of pushed him, and I don't know if he went to the ground, but maybe. Davante Adams dead looked at this guy, two-handed shoved him, and walked right by him looking at him when he was on the ground. Come on, Davante.
Right.
That doesn't do any good, and it doesn't also do any good to say, hey, I'm sorry, but that guy was kind of at fault. Well, no, he really not that much. He didn't deserve that. So I don't think Davante Adams is a bad guy. I don't think that. I just think he made a mistake. And then he made another mistake by kind of not owning up to it and giving a non-apology when it was pretty clear to me anyway that somebody told him, hey, you need to apologize for this, and he really just went halfway with it. So I don't think he gets suspended by the NFL.
Okay.
He's going to get fined. Yeah, he's got to get fined. There's no question. I mean, if he doesn't get fined or suspended, that would be bad luck for the NFL, who gives out fines for literally everything. So I think he'll get fined. I don't think he'll get suspended, but I'll be honest, if he gets suspended for a game, I'd say, you know what? It's not the craziest thing I've heard.
Yeah, I got you on that. I mean, it was a bad look for Davante and the NFL. Frank Schwab's on, NFL writer, Yahoo Sports, here on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. So let's go to the in-game action. So here's the deal over the last 48 hours. Tom Brady gets tackled, roughing the passer. Patrick Mahomes gets swung down the same way, not roughing the passer. Derek Carr gets strip sacked from behind. Chris Jones falls on him, roughing the passer. Where are we going to figure this out?
Yeah, look, officials screw things up, and it was kind of crazy that in back-to-back days there was a huge roughing the passer call that was obvious to everybody that it just wasn't roughing the passer. I mean, it was bad in both instances. I thought the Grady Jarrett one was egregiously bad. That's about as bad as it gets. I don't even know. You can't justify that call. You just can't. And it really, it affected that game. The Falcons were going to get the ball back. They had all the momentum. You kind of just took that out of their hands. I don't buy the whole, the league is just out to protect Tom Brady. Not really. They're not calling things just because it's Tom Brady. Does Brady get calls? Yes, just like Michael Jordan got calls, just like I'm sure Mike Trout gets a better strike zone than other guys. That's the way the world works. But the NFL is going to have to, I get it. You're trying to protect quarterbacks. Nobody wants all these quarterbacks busted up in December, so we're watching second and third stringers on Monday Night Football. And you want to protect health, too. But there's got to be some way for defensive players to play. There's no other way Chris Jones could have played that last night. There's nothing else he could have done, and for him to get a penalty right there was absolutely ridiculous. And to see Andy Reid get as mad as he did, I mean, Andy doesn't get mad very often. He's a pretty cool customer. He had the right to be mad last night, though, because that was a terrible, terrible call.
Okay, I say Chris Jones couldn't have done anything else different. Neither could Jarrett the day before, right? I mean, the way he tackled.
Correct. Absolutely.
So I look at it and I say, do you think this competition committee, the NFL, that report came out saying they're going to mull how they look at these calls? Is this going to go reviewable? How can they go here?
And I don't think so. I don't think it'll ever be reviewable because they've tried that with pass interference. It's still a judgment call. So, look, I've always been, and I've probably talked about it with you, always been a proponent of the Belichick model where, Bill Belichick has said, everything should be reviewable. Everything should be challengeable. Everything should be reviewable. I agree with that. I think that kind of this whole we can challenge if a guy's in bounds or not, but we can't challenge delay a game. Why? What's the point in that? I wouldn't give teams more challenges per game, but I'll say here's your 3 challenges. Use them however you want.
Okay.
If you want to challenge holding, roughing the passer, delay a game, inbounds, out about whatever you want to do. You get 3, whatever you want to do. So that's where I'm at with it. But I don't think we'll ever get to the point where roughing the passer is reviewable, because we saw what happened with pass interference, and it was kind of a fiasco. And I think the NFL is just going to stay out of that business.
Okay, Frank Schwab, couple more. I'll let him run. NFL writer, YahooSports.com. He's on Twitter at Yahoo Schwab. He's here on the Nate Brown Show. Josh McDaniels goes for 2. There's 4.5 minutes left. He goes for 2. He's thinking we got him on the ropes. They don't get it. Yes, and they end up losing by 1. The other argument is, well, if they get it, they win by 1. I didn't like it. It just doesn't look good. I said right away, just tie it. Give yourself an opportunity, because you might have to make a field goal anyway if the Chiefs get down and make one. So what is the right play there?
Yeah, and I do think the timing mattered. I mean, because I was sitting there talking to coworkers when that was, and I was saying, hey, if the Raiders score here, they should go for 2.
Oh.
They scored like the next play. And I was like, oh, wait, I didn't expect that. There's still 4.5 minutes to go. But they went for it. I didn't hate it. I didn't. If you'd have kicked an extra point, wouldn't have hated that. If you would have, gone for 2, wouldn't have hated that. The thing we get caught up with is, everybody complains about analytics and it's whatever. But obviously, these calls are never, 100 to 0. It's, there's a few percentage points difference between going for 2 or not going for 2, or punting or going for it, or whatever. And we get so caught up with it that a lot of times this isn't like a clear cut, you have to do this. This was just Josh McDaniels saying, hey, I think there's value right here, trying to take the lead, putting a little pressure on them. Patrick Mahomes is on the other side. That affects the decision. So I didn't have I wouldn't have had a problem either way with it. It just didn't turn out. And when calls like that don't turn out, that's when the criticism comes and everybody starts piling on.
Okay, Frank, who do you have after 5 weeks? Who's the best team in the league?
I think it's the Bills, but, I might have a different answer, 6 o'clock on Sunday, right? Bills at Chiefs, that's kind of, whoever wins that, it probably deserves the title of the best team, although the Eagles have done nothing to dissuade me from my preseason Super Bowl pick of them going to the Super Bowl from the NFC. So, but I think it's the Bills. The Bills' top gear it's just better than everybody else. We've seen it 3 times now against the Rams, against the Titans, and then against the Steelers, where if they're clicking, nobody's beating them. They're that good. They could be a special team this season. But hey, you go into Arrowhead Stadium this week and lose, all of a sudden you're probably going back to Arrowhead Stadium in January too, and we've seen how that's worked out for them the last couple of years.
Frank Schwab tonight. Good stuff. NFL writer, Yahoo Sports. Follow him on Twitter at Yahoo Schwab, and he gets us started on the Nate Brown Show. Frank, always appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Yep, appreciate it.
I appreciate the time. Frank Schwab on Fox Sports Rapid City. NFL writer, Yahoo Sports. Getting us started on a Tuesday. Shooting it around a little bit. I like that. Listener text coming in on the Davante Adams situation. Davante Adams pushing the photographer. I said, I don't like it. Not a good thing to do, but I'm not going to be filing an assault charge there. Myself. Listener text, the stupid athletes need to be held accountable for their actions. They think they're above the law. They need to be accountable. That guy was trying to get out of the way. He didn't have to do that. Well, I don't know if he's trying to get out of the way, but he wasn't really paying attention. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter too much. Davante pushed him. Bad look. What's going to happen, though? That's the thing. Is it just a fine, end of story? That's what it feels like, but I can't figure out the NFL anymore. I have no clue. Things are so inconsistent from this allegation to this, to this, to this, and it's like, suspension for this, but, exempt list for this is some of the serious stuff. And so I can't figure out which way the NFL is going to go. It's like, well, maybe Davante gets fined, but, the social media said this is out of control, and so maybe they're going to have to suspend him because it's that bad of a look. Listener text, social media wants Davante Adams suspended. That's the push. It happens it wasn't done with intent to cause injury. If the video media guy demands anything more than a police report, he won't even be employed by the NFL this weekend. Interesting. I don't know who he works for, if it's the NFL or the Chiefs or what the story is. Where's that going to go? Let me say this. Davante made a mistake. Very frustrated. Shouldn't have done it. Can't do it. And I believe the fans should probably step back, I believe, and say, okay, let's just move forward. I think. That would be my take. This is a Broncos fan. I am a Broncos fan, everybody. You know this. Kind of sticking up for the Raider? So I'm trying to be objective here a little bit. I'm sticking up for a Las Vegas Raider? What's wrong with me? I'm not sticking up for the action, just like it just seems like everything gets blown up today. And it's immediate. It's immediate. Everything gets blown up. We decided on social media, judge, jury, executioner right away. Right away. And then it's all set, and then we all push for this cause or this and this. And it's like, I think we can take a step back. I don't think this is the end of the world. I don't think this is Davante Adams' end of his good guy status. Bad look, frustrated, bad play. Bad play. Just as the fan who ran on the field a week ago, that's ridiculous. And he's trying to say, it wasn't my fault. I got taken out by a player. This is the player's fault. This is again, bad move. Listener text, or I should say, let's look at the poll. Do you believe pro football players should hit or take down fans that run on the field? That's my question of the day as we get started in the opening hour, 720-1067. Do you believe pro football players should hit or take down fans that run on the field? Now it's 77% of you say yes, take them down. 23% say no, the players have to stay out of it. Unbelievable. 23% don't want the players taking down the fans. And so now we wonder why fans are going to keep running on the field because nothing's going to, it's a free-for-all. I mean, you can't have 75,000 fans going to games and then morons running out on the field. It's a security issue. Listener text coming in. This is a pretty good one. Listener text. Isn't the fan trespassing once he goes onto that field? How can he file charges? Well, he's done it, and now the report says he has a concussion and a burn on his arm. It's absurd. Kevin Figures is in L.A., the scene of the crime, from Bobby Wagner. AM 570 Los Angeles, Fox Sports Radio's Kevin Figures. A lot to discuss next.
This is the Nate Brown.
This house is freezing again. Winter is coming. Will it be cold inside your house again? Scan the QR code on your screen right now. Renewal by Anderson's incredible Winter is Coming sale is here. Buy one window or patio door. Get the second one of equal or lesser value for 40% off. Plus an additional 5% off the entire project if purchased on the initial consultation. And listen to this. No money down, no interest, no payments for 12 whole months. Payments as low as $89 a month. Hurry, this sale ends October 15th. Scan that code. Visit RBARapidCity.com now.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson, McPherson Auction Company. On today's online-only auctions, we're selling a duplex. First of all, Leeds, South Dakota. This property has several recent updates and is ready to rent. Excellent potential on a monthly basis or a VRBO. The auction closes at 6 p.m. on this real estate this evening, and we also have a fundraiser going on for Youth and Family Services, selling approximately 270 lots. Both auctions closing 6 p.m. this evening. For more auction details and to bid and buy, go to McPhersonAuction.com.
All right, Rapid City, one of my favorite places is Pour 54 downtown. If you're looking for the best place to have a cold one with friends, maybe date night with your wife, or just go and watch the big game with some buddies in their great sports area upstairs, Pour 54 has it all. Plus 54 taps of beer from local and regional breweries, and it's self-serve. You don't have to wait around. You can get what you want right away. And the food's out of this world. I love the Detroit-style pan pizzas. Check out Pour 54. You'll love it. Downtown Main Street.
The bakers of Country Hearth and Village Hearth breads are proud to support local education with Loaves for Learning, the program that makes it easy to earn money for your school. Enjoy Country Hearth and Village Hearth all-natural breads, buns, bagels, and more. Then save the UPC from the package for your school to collect and redeem. Each is worth 5 cents and can be used for books, computers, sports, music, whatever your school needs. Up to $10,000 a year. Learn more at loavesforlearning.com. Country Hearth and Village Hearth breads, baking our best for you.
Hey, it's Chris Broussard. Remember to catch the Odd Couple weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, let's get back to Rapid City Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show.
Hey, welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Rapid City. Glad you're a part of the program. All views welcome here. I'm never right. I figured that out a long time ago, okay? The Nate Brown Show here on Fox Sports Rapid City featuring John Bryce coming up, national college football writer, Football Scoop. John's on the way. Craig Maddox in talking high school sports. What do we think when high school kids transfer schools to play sports? When it looks like it's mainly for sports, and I say almost entirely for sports. What do we say about that? What do we think of that? Craig Maddox in from Sioux Falls coming up, SDPB Sports on the high school side. Kevin Figures is on. You hear him on Fox Sports Radio and, of course, AM 570 LA, and they cover the whole scene. Dodgers, here we go. Game 1 tonight, Dodgers-Padres, AM 570 Los Angeles. Kevin, good to have you back. How are you?
I am excellent, Nate. Always good to be with you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. So we'll get into a little baseball here, but I got to get into this deal last night. Davante Adams. And maybe you guys have been discussing it out there at AM 570 Los Angeles. But Davante, I said, he pushes the photographer. I said it's a bad look, a bad play. Shouldn't have done it. I said this, though. If I'm covering the game, I used to cover the Wizards and Washington back in when I was in D.C., and, you know, I was around practices and the whole thing. I didn't have anybody bump into me and push me down. But I said, I'm bringing myself to that point. If I get knocked over by Davante last night, I don't file a police report. I don't do that. Where are you at, Kevin, on the deal last night?
Yeah, I wouldn't either. It was a bad look by Davante, like you mentioned, and he did apologize twice in his media session after the game and then again earlier today on social media. And look, you realize he's coming off of the field. He's clearly frustrated after the way the game ended. And this photographer pops up out of nowhere. There's multiple angles out now. He pops in front of his face, and he happens to push him out of the way. It's unfortunate. He says that he's injured, and I guess I'll take him at his word at this point in time. We live in a very litigious time space here now, Nate, as you know. So apparently he's going to lawyer himself up. But I think the NFL is going to have to take some sort of discipline against him, whether that's a fine. I think a suspension might be a little bit too much. But to your point, I think it's kind of being overblown to a certain degree, just recognizing the moment and the headspace that Davante was in and how that photographer just popped up out of nowhere right in front of his face as he was storming off of the field.
Speaking of the outrage, this is the totally other side of it, and I think we've lost our mind, Kevin, where a fan who runs onto the field with a smoke flare a week ago there in the 49ers-Rams game, and you guys know Rams Bobby Wagner. Wagner drills him, and now the report from Santa Clara Police Department says the guy has a concussion and multiple injuries, and so that, you know, is still going down the road. I don't know where it goes. I just think we've lost our mind if, you know, we're getting mad at players for taking down fans now. I don't think. I mean, you're on the field. You're fair game. Yeah. Some people are telling me, no, the players should stay out of that, but most people are with me today. Where should we think of Bobby Wagner's actions?
No, we're 100% with you, and Bobby addressed that after the game ended. He said, look, I don't know what this guy has. I know he's walking around with this smoke, whatever gender reveal, whatever this thing was that he was carrying, but I have no idea what else he's carrying or what his intentions are. I see that he's vulnerable, and there's an opportunity for me to take him down and end this thing so we can get back to the game and get back to being safe. So I applaud Bobby Wagner for doing it. And the fact that this guy wants to actually take legal action against them is completely ridiculous. Everybody has, I guess there's not a lot of physical tickets floating around now, but there's a fan code of conduct. You're not allowed to run on the field. And if you are, everybody involved, security and otherwise, has is full within their legal right to do what it takes to be able to restrain you. That's law. That's what it says. That's the contract that you sign when you purchase a ticket. So if this guy is injured, it's unfortunate. I'm sorry that he's hurt, and I hope he's okay. But as far as I know, he has no legal recourse against Bobby Wagner, the Rams, the NFL, or anybody else, because he chose to break the rules and run into the field.
Yeah, and I just wonder, what do fans, I mean, we go to these games, 75,000 people here. If fans kind of can do this and there's not big consequences, I just wonder if more fans are going to do it. I don't think it's going to open the floodgates, but there's a lot of nuts out there.
You're right. And to Bobby's point, you have no idea what these people's intentions are when they rush the field. There have been two separate occasions, one time in the 70s and one maybe about 10, 11 years ago, where first base coaches got attacked. At baseball games where guys have jumped out of the stands and literally attacked the first base coach, and the players on both sides had to, corral these guys. You just don't know what their intentions are when they decide to run onto the field. So I don't think there's any precedent. Look, precedent has been set to a certain degree with guys that run on the field. Oftentimes, they're not allowed to buy tickets to the stadium anymore, sometimes not even allowed to buy tickets to just a league event anymore. I have no idea what the 49ers are going to do one way or the other when it comes to this, but yes, actually it's a pretty serious situation that we've seen happen in the past, and the only way that people are going to stop is if the consequences are very, very severe.
Kevin Figures is on from L.A., AM 570, Los Angeles, home of the Dodgers. He's here on Fox Sports Rapid City today on the Nate Brown Show. Let's get into baseball. Before I go to the Dodgers series, Dodgers-Padres, I want to go to that other team there in L.A., the Angels, and what came out in the upcoming book from Joe Madden, Kevin, where he's talking about baseball today, and he said this season the Angels front office called down to the dugout and said, hey, it's a blowout right now. We're up. Get Mike Trout out of the game. And then another instance where they said who you could use for relief pitchers that day. Like, these guys are off limits, but, Joe, you can use these guys. This is the front office directing, based on analytics to big money contracts, what the manager should do. What do we think of that?
Not the biggest fan of it, to be honest with you. I know that's kind of the trend of Major League Baseball these days, and they always say, one thing you'll always hear, it's collaborative. The manager, the front office staff, the general manager, president, they all get together, they put their game plan together and decide what they want to do. Joe Madden's claim of someone actually calling him during the game and telling him what he should or shouldn't do, that's a little earth-shattering. I have never heard that before, and if that's true, and I think Joe has no reason to make it up, it's next level ridiculous. I mean, the manager is the direct pipeline. He's kind of the go-between between the upstairs and the players. He can tell you when a pitcher is not feeling well, or if he has an issue, or knows whether or not he should use him on a certain night. Yes, you can have your pregame meetings and talk about who's most advantageous to use in this matchup, and here's what our guys in the computer room are saying about this guy, and take an eye on this. But to actually call and tell him what to do, that's next level ridiculous. And if I was Joe Madden, I would have won out of there too, to be honest with you. One, because the organization has been completely terrible for the last decade. And two, you're being completely subverted in your position as manager. If that's the case, just have the general manager be the manager too.
Okay, how do we feel about this series tonight, Kevin? Dodgers, game one, Padres. Dodgers have beat up the Padres this year. I mean, they've beat them up. Is that a real thing? I asked a baseball guy yesterday, can teams have another team's number?
Yes, a mental edge is definitely a big deal, and I think just for this Padres franchise in general, not just this collection of players, they've kind of had the little brother, play that mentality towards the Dodgers. You go back to 2020 and the shortened season for COVID, and the Dodgers beat them in the first round of the postseason, and that series wasn't really close. It's just the Padres are continuing to try to climb that mountain, and the king at the top of that mountain is the Dodgers, and they have not been able to knock them off. This is probably, from a talent standpoint, one of the best rosters that I can ever remember them having. And for them to come off that big victory they had in New York in the wild card series, I'm sure they have a lot of momentum on their side. But I will not discount the mental edge that this Dodger team has on them. You talk about game one tonight, Garrett Clevenger starting for the Padres. He gets destroyed by the Dodgers historically the last couple of years. I'm imagining what happens to the Padres if they get down 5-1 or 5-2 or something like that in the first couple of innings, if it's a here we go again sort of mentality. And they're only human. You can be a great athlete and, all that stuff and have a great momentum coming out of New York. But if you get down to this same group of guys in the same situation yet again, it can be tough. And by the way, Nate, going down to San Diego, in Game 3 coming up on Friday, that's going to be a de facto Dodger home game because all of them are in San Diego. So you're talking about potentially 5, not potentially, guaranteed, 5 basically home games for the Dodgers in this series, on top of the fact that they're just a juggernaut for the Padres to be able to contend with anyway.
Dodgers-Padres Game 1 of the NLDS tonight as the postseason has been underway today. Kevin Figures on it, AM 570 Los Angeles, Fox Sports Radio. Kevin, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate the time.
Anytime, Nick. Appreciate it, man. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for coming on tonight. Kevin Figures on AM 570 LA, home of the Dodgers, the flagship station in LA. He joins us on the Nate Brown Show. He's also here on Fox Sports Radio. Is that right? A baseball team can have your number? I don't know about that. The one thing I'll agree with Kevin on, if the Padres get down tonight, like he said, like 5-1, like it's a big inning, it's 4-0, now we start the yips. Now we have the yips. Now it's like, we're tight. Here we go. We can't beat the Dodgers. We haven't done it all year. Here we go again. I do not think baseball teams can have another team's number. I don't think a baseball team, we have your number. We got that. You guys can't beat us. You know you can't beat us. We've got your number. I don't think baseball is like that. It's one of the sports that's not like that. Like basketball, it's like, hey, you can't match up with us. Okay, we got this guard and we got this 4 and whatever it is. Baseball, I don't think it's like that. Unless you would tell me like, we can't hit this pitcher and we can't hit this pitcher. Maybe. I don't feel like baseball feeds into the, this team has this mental edge over this team. Whoever's mentally stronger in the postseason is a big deal. That's a big deal. Whoever doesn't get the yips and gets tight. So that's where the edge is. Padres played loose in that wild card series, I'll say that. I mean, look at that. I didn't expect the Padres to knock off the Mets. They got it done. So look out. Padres-Dodgers. Dodgers have owned the Padres this season in the NL West. Game 1 tonight. All right, Craig Maddox on next on the Nate Brown Show. East River meets West River, our friend from Sioux Falls. I'm going to ask him, what do we think about kids in high school transferring schools just to play sports? Craig Maddox on the way.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City.
Today on Hey Culligan, buy to save. Here's a text from Devin in Denver. Hey Culligan, I'd love a water softener, but I don't want to pay for it. Devin, I can't help you there, but a Culligan high-efficiency softener can help you save oodles on energy and detergent, so the savings can be even greater than the cost. And I'm getting a mind-blown emoji followed by, yes please. Devin, the savings are already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A high wind warning begins at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning and continues until 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. A wind advisory continues until 6 p.m. this evening. Lows level off around 41. Tonight, under mainly clear skies, westerly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, high of 56. Tomorrow night, lows around 41. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 55.
Every time you play at First Gold Gaming Resort, you're locked and loaded to win your share of Deadwood's biggest giveaways. Starting with $8,600 in hot seat promo play drawings every Friday through Sunday. Saturday nights win $1,000 cash at the top of every hour from 5 till 11 p.m. And on Saturday, October 29th, it's the biggest of them all, the $18,000 Golden Cash Blast. First Gold Gaming Resort is where Deadwood begins and the winning never ends.
It's used truck month at Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet. Choose from over 360 used trucks and SUVs, many late model local trades, Fords, GMCs, Rams, imports, and more. Half tons, 3/4 tons, and heavy duty trucks. Plus the area's best selection of used and certified pre-owned Chevys. Financing available on the spot with no money down to qualified buyers. The Black Hills best selection of used trucks and SUVs is all on sale right now at one location at Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet or DennyMenholtRapidChevrolet.com.
Hi, it's Colin Coward. Great to be in the Black Hills. Getting heard weekdays 10 to 1 on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show on a Tuesday. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, live, local. Great national guests across the board. All right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Remember, if you can't catch the show live, you catch maybe 10, 15 minutes. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. You can catch up on our guests, on our segments. Good stuff. We don't repeat stuff like play guests back or play segments back. We want new stuff out of the gate. We know you can't listen to the whole thing sometimes. So go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every guest is right there. Download it where you find your podcast. The Nate Brown Show podcast is available. Craig Maddox on tonight. East River meets West River on a Tuesday. He is at soccer semis tonight. Stevens boys playing O'Gorman right now, and Craig Maddox just walked into the scene. He just walked into the scene. Live update, SDPB Sports. Craig's getting set to do the soccer state championships, by the way. Craig, thanks for coming on. How are you?
You got it. Just got back from Howard Woods Field, where it was Sioux Falls Lincoln beating Brandon Valley in the boys semifinals 3-2. That ends the magical run for Brandon Valley. Remember, they were the 16 seed. They beat top seed Huron, and then they went out and beat Spearfish.
How about that?
But they lose to Lincoln here this afternoon, 3-2. And here at McEnany, the site of Sioux Falls O'Gorman, got 28 minutes to go in this one, and it's been all O'Gorman. They lead at 3-0.
Oh,
or 3-0 in soccer talk.
3-0. You got to get that right. Ouch, that's not a great update for the Stevens Raider fans. So the Raider boys down 3-0, 28 minutes left. Not great. Okay, I got to ask you about this. The high school soccer championships, you guys call them, and you do a great job on SDPB. How hard is it to call a soccer game? I mean, we're all used to, hey, we played football, we played basketball. What about calling soccer that you've enjoyed?
Well, when it comes to doing it on television, you know, I've been a big proponent of letting the pictures describe more than, you know, doing a radio play-by-play on television. So I try to let, you know, the picture do all the talking, and a lot of it is just trying to intermittently you're telling folks who's got the ball and how, if they're going to pass and all that kind of stuff. And the pace is a little slower, no doubt. Pace is a little bit slower, but it's been we're in our 11th year of sanctioned soccer, and I've called all of them except one. But here's the deal. That's going to be the feature of my podcast on In Play.
Oh.
It's going to be released here momentarily. Where have we been over the last decade as we start the second decade of sanctioned soccer in South Dakota? And you'll hear from Merle Askey, the longtime coach at Aberdeen Central with the girls. And then Ryan Byer of Sioux Falls O'Gorman, who used to coach the girls and now coaching the boys. And he's got titles on both sides for the boys and the girls. You'll hear from them on what was soccer like in the state before we had sanctioned soccer, and where is soccer going in South Dakota. So that will be released here on In Play. You can follow it on SDPB Sports on Facebook or Twitter or wherever you find your favorite podcast.
Good stuff. Good lead-in. A little soccer podcast.
Thanks.
Ahead of the.
I appreciate that. Yeah, a little love.
Ahead of the state championships coming up. Stevens boys playing right now, by the way, down 3-0 to O'Gorman. Craig Maddox is there. He's with SDPB Sports. I want to get into this high school sports topic. So we see kids, Craig, every year transfer schools. Okay, you see it in Sioux Falls. We see it in Rapid City. Yep. Sometimes it looks like, well, we're transferring to this school just to play on this basketball team, just to play on this football team, whatever it may be. They're never going to say, oh, I'm transferring because I like the academics or this better too. And maybe that's part of it. But I say, is it okay to transfer just for sports? What do we say on that?
I know it happens, and I'm not a big fan of it, but you know what? You can do it. You can do it once, you know, in your high school career. So you better make the choice if you're just going for a particular sport, because a lot can happen. A lot can happen when it comes to sports. I know there's been people or athletes that have moved from O'Gorman over to Lincoln. There's been athletes that have moved from Roosevelt to different parts of Sioux Falls. There's been athletes that have come from outside of Sioux Falls to Sioux Falls. And by golly, it just worked out great athletic-wise. That was maybe one of the final puzzles of the pieces of the puzzle for them to do well. And it does happen. I'm not a big fan of it. But you know what? If that's what they're doing, I sure hope everything is going fine the rest of their academic career.
Yeah, and that's the thing is people say, well, I say this, sports are important, and it might be your ticket to success, depending on your circumstance. It really might be. So I said, there's an open enrollment, and that rule's in place where kids can do it. Why aren't you a big fan of it?
I'm not a big fan of moving to a school just for athletics. I'm just not. Maybe it's because I never had that choice. You know, when you and I went to school, I went to a very small school, never had the opportunity. Would have I had the opportunity? You know what? I might have because I didn't like my basketball coach. You know, maybe I liked the guy across the interstate. But I never had the opportunity. But I'm just hoping in the long run, if athletics is the ticket to success, but by golly, we got to worry about the academic part as well.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I really get that. Craig Maddock on before I let him run. SDPB Sports, Sioux Falls. Let's go to the football side. Does it look like Sioux Falls Jefferson will get beat here in AAA football?
I don't think so. They're going to have to beat themselves when it comes to a game, and you know, or an injury to one of their key players. But they're playing such good football right now. You know what? Lincoln's playing some decent football right now. You can't count out O'Gorman, at least on the AAA level. But Jefferson really, they're looking good this year.
Craig Maddock on tonight. He's at the state semis soccer AA going on right now. Stevens boys down late to Sioux Falls O'Gorman. Find him on Twitter at Craig Maddock. That new podcast coming out right now, In Play, talking soccer over the last decade. Craig, good stuff, man. Thanks for the time.
Hey, thanks, Nate. Thanks for the plug. Hard to believe state playoffs are already getting underway in the state.
Yep, we'll be on it. They do a great job. Craig Maddock getting set for that run on SDPB Sports, covering the state championships. And here on the Nate Brown Show, East River meets West River, live from Sioux Falls. Question of the day. Answers have been coming in on that high school sports question. Is it okay with you that a high school kid transfer schools just for sports? That's my question of the day. Look at the answers here. I got 84 replies right now. I got 84 replies. What do you think people are saying? Is it okay that a high school athlete transfers schools just for sports? Because it looks like that happens. I mean, you never can quite, unless you know the family or something like that. It's like, oh, I'm going to go to this team. You never can quite tell the whole story. But it looks like that happens every year. Is it okay? That's my question. 50% of the audience says yes, sports can mean a lot. 50% exactly says no, you can't make sports the number one choice. Interesting. 50-50 down the line. Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. What do you think?
Well, I think it's fine. It's only like your caller just said, it's only allowed one time. So there are cases where, you know, a coach and a player don't see eye to eye, or maybe a player feels like a coach sometimes has a grudge against a player for some reason.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. It's not the right fit, maybe, right?
Right. And it's only one. It's not like, you know, for a while in South Dakota, we did have a problem, especially down on the reservations, with kids transferring multiple times in the same year. They didn't like a coach and they'd go to another school, and the team wouldn't win and they'd go to another school. And so that was a problem for a while down there. But I think one time, you know, I have no issue with that at all.
Okay, I'm kind of with you on that, because I said sometimes it's about fit, and sometimes for whatever reason it's not the right fit. Does that mean I just have to stick it out? I believe that we should stay with the team if you can, but sometimes it's not the right fit for anybody.
And I just wanted to correct your caller. He had the score wrong. Stevens is winning.
What?
3-0 to none.
What?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, that's a big news update. Wow. All right. That's a good update.
My granddaughter's boyfriend plays for Stevens, and his parents are at the game, and so I'm sure that the score, they wouldn't come back and text my granddaughter if they were winning if they weren't.
Okay.
So they're winning 3-0.
Okay, I like that. Thank you for that update. All right, that's a good one. That's important. I appreciate that. Stevens boys up 3-0. Stevens boys up 3-0. Craig Maddock trying to pull that Sioux Falls veil over our eyes. I'm kidding. Craig, he just showed up. He's on the Nate Brown Show. He's distracted. He looks at the scoreboard. Oh, it's 3-0. He automatically, in that Sioux Falls mindset, just thinks Sioux Falls is winning. That's the say, oh, we're winning. Kidding. Not quite, Craig. Not so fast. Not so fast. Into the drive at 5 here tonight on a Tuesday. I want to discuss a couple of things. Two things that the NFL has wrong. Two things right now that the NFL has wrong. Next.
Did you miss an interview or great segment on The Nate Brown Show? Just find The Nate Brown Show podcast and listen wherever you download your podcasts.
With home values rising in the Black Hills, a cash-out refinance loan from Black Hills Community Bank is a great choice. Thinking about home improvements or projects? Think about a cash-out refinance. Possibilities are endless. Consolidate your debt into one mortgage payment. Tap into the equity of your home with Black Hills Community Bank. Get started today using the online loan application at bhcbank.com or call to speak to a mortgage banker. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hey sports fans, it's Rob from the Firehouse Skybox, inviting you to make us your home for the NFL this season. We really wanted Rapid City to have a premier sports bar with great service and great food, and that's why we started the Skybox. We have 35 big screens. We'll show every NFL game all season long. Plus, we'll have great specials for you to join us on Monday nights, Thursday nights, and all day, of course, on Sunday. The Skybox has the best food and the best experience for NFL football. Check us out on game days, and we look forward to serving you at the Skybox above the Firehouse in downtown Rapid City.
From the kennel to the coop, whatever the season, Fleet Farm has everything to keep your animals happy and healthy. From training your pup to sit season, to mastering those retrieval skills season. From clipping your horse for competition season, to keeping the backyard birds well-fed season. And of course, loving your pets like family season. There's a reason people say, if Fleet Farm doesn't have it, you don't need it. Because we have it all. Fleet Farm, built for real life.
Hi, this is Cody Young at High Plains Physical Therapy and Aquatic Therapy Center. I started High Plains PT in 1999, and we've been providing personalized care in Rapid City to help our patients get back in action. Remember, you have a choice for who you go to see for physical therapy. With our state-of-the-art Aquatic Therapy Center, we are equipped to help you achieve your health goals. At High Plains, we'll give you the one-on-one treatment you deserve. We look forward to working with you at our new facility. To get started, visit highplainspt.com.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Remember to catch me weekday mornings from 7 until 10 a.m. right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, back to Rapid City's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. I haven't heard that tune for a long time. I mean, we're cranking it up today on a Tuesday. Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Rapid City. John Bryce is on the way. National College Football writer, footballscoop.com. We'll hit a lot of topics with John in the college football landscape. John Bryce coming up. Our local Atlanta Braves fan, they took one on the chin earlier today, 7-6 to the Phillies. Sorry, John. We'll get into that. Mike McFeely's coming up. covers North Dakota State. It's the Dakota Marker Showdown. North Dakota State hosting South Dakota State. Who's favored in that game? Mike McFeely thinks the Bison are underdogs. What? Come on, Mike. He'll join us live from Fargo, straight ahead. NDSU, SDSU preview on the Bison side, straight ahead. The Drive at 5 of the Nate Brown Show, driven by Summit Automotive Group. Take a look at their selection. It's really good. Hard to find the quality pre-owned vehicle at the right price. And Stacy and Matt have them. SummitAutoGRP.com. Car buying truly built around you. Experience the Summit difference. SummitAutoGRP.com. Start there for your next pre-owned vehicle. All right. 2 things I want to get into with the NFL and see where you stand as fans of the NFL. I think there's 2 things that have come out here over the last 24 hours that I think they're getting it wrong. I think they're getting it wrong, at least so far. So this roughing the passer issue is out of control. The roughing the passer issue is gone from, we got to protect guys, we don't want them to get hit low, and then we don't want them to get hit in the helmet, even with the hand, and we can't land on them with our full body weight. I mean, it's out of control, and we can't toss them to the ground either. What can you do? I mean, this has gone out of control. And it's happened over the last couple of days where Tom Brady gets tackled. He kind of gets swung around and just tackled because he was trying to get away, by the way. That's roughing the passer. Last night, Chris Jones of the Chiefs, strip sack, hits Derek Carr. Doesn't hit him in the helmet or anything. Just hits him from behind. And it's a great play. And he lands on him, kind of braces himself a little bit, and it's roughing the passer. It's a total killer. It's a total killer of the integrity of the game, and it shifts the momentum of the game like you wouldn't believe. Tom Brady roughing the passer. Then Derek Carr. So one thing I got wrong is I'm like, oh, they called that one on Sunday because Tom gets special treatment. I believe Tom gets preferential treatment. Then I see that one last night, and I admit that was even worse. The one last night with the Chiefs. I'm a Broncos fan, so I'm sitting here watching that AFC West game going, I don't really care who wins, Chiefs, Raiders. I'm not rooting for anybody. That was even worse against the Chiefs' Chris Jones. I mean, it's ugly. So how's the NFL going to get this back in control? The roughing the passer penalties. And I hate to break it to everybody, but I got to tell you, they got to go down the road of reviewing roughing the passer. We've got to now review roughing the passer. They got it right. Well, it's a judgment call. I understand. I did not like reviewing pass interference. When we did that a couple of seasons ago, that was a disaster. A mess. That's the ultimate judgment call. And even when you go to the review, you're like, oh, there's some chicken fighting there. Yeah, he pushed him. Yeah, the play stands. That play stood all the time with pass interference. This roughing the passer thing, they're going to have to go back to the rule book and see, what is roughing the passer? Have we made it so hard for defenders that nearly anything is roughing the passer? Maybe, but we have to go and be able to review a call. Was that in the nature of the rule? What they have to look at it and say, you'd look at that Chris Jones play and you say, no, that's not roughing the passer. We got that one wrong. You slowed it down. You looked at it. No. That's a normal play. Tom Brady gets tackled. Yeah, he talked to you. Hey, I got swung down. Oh, okay, I'll throw it. That's not roughing the passer. 720-1067 of the Barron's Wilson text line. If you want to join us on the program, you tell me. I mean, I don't want to slow down this game and that game and everything in between. But you've got to go down this road. You've got to figure out, because some games are going to be impacted. Already a couple have. So a big one's going to happen. And now fans are starting to get so wound up. The Chiefs fans lost their mind last night. They thought everything then should have been roughing the passer on Patrick Mahomes, and rightfully so. Patrick got swung down just like Brady did. Nothing called. I mean, it's so inconsistent, it'll make you lose your mind. As a fan of the team, oh, I'm in. Yeah, we made a great play. Roughing the passer, 15 yards, first down. What? Falcons lose. Sorry. It could have impacted the Chiefs last night. They ended up winning by 1. Josh Mishandles made the nice decision there at the end. Should the NFL make roughing the passer a reviewable call? I'm all in on that. I don't know if it's going to solve all of our ills, but it will at least make it a second look. Because the first look and the judgment of the referees is off. I mean, we are calling stuff that is totally out of control. A defender can't do this. Well, you can't hit him here. You can't hit him there. Can't do this when you do hit him. Now you're going 100 miles an hour. Don't land on him with your full body weight. I mean, that's the actual rule. Don't land on him with your full body weight. You know, I got to try and get down a 6'5" quarterback like Josh Allen. Don't land on him with your full body weight, though. I'm a Josh Allen fan. How do I get down Josh Allen? This is crazy. Should the NFL make roughing the passer a reviewable call? Here on the Nate Brown Show, question of the day. Your answers are coming in. 84% of you say yes, you got to take a second look on these. 84% with me. 16%, small number, 16% say no. It's ultimately a judgment call anyway. Got to take a second look. Have to take a second look. Here's the other thing I hear this week. Roger Goodell, commissioner of the NFL, it's another thing. It's like, is it just me? Are we off here? Roger Goodell says there's no question that if they looked at it, London could support 2 NFL franchises. Roger Goodell, he said, hey, if we looked at it, you know, and we were serious about it, London could support 2 NFL franchises. Okay, and he went on to say, we're trying to see, could you have multiple locations in Europe with teams because it would be easier to form a division, as he elaborated there. So hang on a second, Roger. We're going to go over. We don't have one team yet in London or wherever. There's going to be another game coming up in Germany, right? So now Roger Goodell said we could actually have an NFL division. If we looked at it, multiple locations, it'd be easier to have a division over here. And I know what he's saying. It's like, well, travel, maybe you have Paris, okay? London, you have some travel there. Berlin, we could have some teams, and we have those teams in the NFL. Are you buying that? I mean, are you buying that? Is the NFL growing? They want to go global. I get it. We're going to have NFL teams like an NFL division down the road. You're in on that? Is the NFL, if the NFL expanded to Europe, no problems at all? I'm not in on that. It's not anything I have against Europe. No, nothing against London. No, they're our friends. We're good. But I just thought about that saying, I just feel like the league looks at, okay, it feels like they just take step after step. How much money can we get from Amazon? How much money can we get here? Well, how much? Let's put a game over in London. Let's go Mexico City. Let's go Germany. Now let's look at let's look at putting a division in Europe. It doesn't feel like it's kind of in the best interest of maybe the fans per se, or maybe the players, because get this, teams would have to travel all that way. What are you going to have to play a couple of games over there? Hey, the Denver Broncos play at Paris coming up this Sunday. And then they're back taking on the Raiders in Sunday Night Football. And then the next 2 weeks, they're back over in London. I'm out. I don't think that works. I don't think it works very well. NFL said we could have 2 teams right there in London. But if we did that, we might as well have a division in Europe. I mean, multiple locations and make this thing roll. I'm not rolling with that. I get what it's about, okay? Expansion, dollars, growth. I mean, massive dollars. I'm not clueless on that piece. I don't think it works with the league structured as it is. John Bryson next, national college football writer for Football Scoop. A lot to hit with John on the way.
This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show, on FoxSportsRapidCity.com and live on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Have you hit a pop? This house is freezing again. Winter is coming. Will it be cold inside your house again? Scan the QR code on your screen right now. Renewal by Anderson's incredible Winter is Coming sale is here. Buy one window or patio door. Get the second one of equal or lesser value for 40% off. Plus an additional 5% off the entire project if purchased on the initial consultation. And listen to this. No money down, no interest, no payments for 12 whole months. Payments as low as $89 a month. Hurry, this sale ends October 15th. Scan that code. Visit RBARapidCity.com now.
We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
Hey Cobbler and Raider fans, you can now show your school spirit and earn money for your booster club. It's easy to get your Raider or Cobbler custom designed debit card today from Highmark Credit Union. Simply open a Highmark free basic checking account and get your Raider or Cobbler debit card. Plus, each swipe will earn money for your booster club. Show your school spirit and support the Raiders and Cobblers with a custom designed debit card. Visit highmarkfcu.com.
With 2 locations in Rapid City, Pizza Ranch is ready to serve your family. Every Wednesday is Kids Day. This is the best deal out there with the best buffet in town. One child 12 and under eats free for every regular priced adult at the Pizza Ranch Buffet Wednesdays. And don't forget their senior special every Tuesday for $8.99. The Pizza Ranch Buffet. It's all good at the Pizza Ranch with 2 locations in Rapid City. And remember, daily online specials for carryout or delivery at PizzaRanch.com.
Car scams are more common now, largely due to the low inventory of vehicles. This is your Attorney General, Mark Vargo, saying that while we may take this type of purchase for granted, don't rush into it for fear of losing out on that vehicle. Stay vigilant and do your homework before you make the purchase. If you're purchasing a used vehicle, know who you're dealing with, know what you're signing, and be sure you get a copy of the signed agreement at the time of purchase. Be wary of look-alike or sound-alike car dealer websites. If you have questions, contact my Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Live from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Details Studio, sales, service, and recreation, this is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown. How are you feeling, my friend?
I'm not feeling very well. I don't appreciate your producer being a hater. I'm sure he's a great guy. All I've ever done is gracious to you all.
That's right.
I don't know who his team is. I know your team is the Cubs, and so
yeah, you hit me on that. You hit me on that.
He couldn't cheer for anybody worse than the Cubs. But I'm just really disappointed in him. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
All right, buddy. I got you. By the way, I think the Braves will be fine, right? Right?
No, their season's over. They're done. You can book it. Like, take your sports bet and go to the casino right now. The Braves are done.
Ouch. I hope not. For your sake. Okay, let's get into this. I looked at the college football scene last week, the game of the week, A&M, Alabama. What was your reaction to that? How close it was, down to a final play? Were you surprised by that?
I was genuinely extremely surprised by that for 2 reasons. I knew that it looked like both teams would have backup quarterbacks, and even though Texas A&M's Haynes King was a more highly regarded quarterback with more experience than Jalen Milroe, I thought that far and away Alabama's supporting cast would be better. So I was genuinely very, very surprised by that. I was in the elevator at Allegiant Stadium having covered BYU, Notre Dame, and there was a group of about 6 reporters coming out of post-game press conferences watching the end of the Alabama-Texas A&M game,
on the phone of Matt Fortuna from The Athletic, and we were all just stunned that it was literally coming down to the last play of the game with A&M with the ball at the 3-yard line. Just absolutely stunning to me. I don't know what other word to use. Jimbo Fisher obviously does a great job of getting his team ready to play Alabama. No, this is not an Alabama team that is completely superior like some that we've seen, which is interesting, Nate, because going into the season I had some people in the SEC whisper to me they thought this might be Nick's best team ever. And very clearly we are not seeing anything remotely close to that. But the one thing that it drives home to me is the importance of a starting quarterback. And we saw Notre Dame have to adjust. We saw Alabama have to adjust. We've seen Texas A&M have to adjust, on and on and on. The value of a starting quarterback, frankly, is paramount to the value of a Game 1 ace, which Max Fried was not today.
I'll tell you, Alabama just gets by A&M. So I ask you, John, who's the best team right now in college football?
You know what? I'm going to be outside the box, and I know everybody's going to expect it to be Alabama, even still at this point, or most likely Georgia. I think it's Ohio State. I think Ohio State. Yeah, because Ohio State right now, we don't know the status of Bryce Young. I think he's going to play this weekend against Tennessee in a huge, huge contest, the type of game that Tennessee quite literally has not seen since 2001. But I love C.J. Stroud. I like the difference makers that Ohio State has in its backfield. Also at the receiver position, I think Ohio State is the single most skilled team in the country. And then they've got 2 NFL tackles on the offensive line, especially Paris Johnson. Know the name, love the name, remember him. He will be a top 10, top 12 pick. He will be a longtime NFL player. And then defensively, they're getting better every week. They're not as good as Alabama defensively, but I like the upside of Ohio State's offense more than I do Georgia or Alabama. And Clemson's not there yet. Clemson's not remotely there. Clemson's doing some nice things, but they're not there yet.
John Bryson, college football writer, footballscoop.com. He's on Twitter at John D. Bryce1. Matt Rule gets let go from the Panthers. He gets $42 million, essentially to not do much if he didn't want to. Is Matt Rule, you guys do a great job on the coaching side. Is Matt Rule going to be a really hot candidate?
I don't think he's going to be a really hot candidate, Nate. I don't. I think he would like to be a really hot candidate. I think people close to Matt Rule, I think coaches that have worked with Matt Rule are hoping that he's a hot candidate. But if you're Nebraska and you've just fired a favored son that everybody thought was the best hire in the country at the time you went out and got Scott Frost, how on earth could you remotely justify hiring a Matt Rule? If you're Wisconsin and you fired a favored son, literally a Madison native, how on earth could you justify a Matt Rule? I'm not saying Matt Rule's a bad coach, but I don't think from an optics standpoint, I don't think from a cycle standpoint that you can consider Matt Rule a hot topic. I'm not saying he won't land a job. I think he's a really good coach, especially at the college level. I think he's vastly more suited to the college level than he is the NFL level. But I don't think he's remotely the most attractive candidate in this cycle.
Hey, John, here's what I was told by a Nebraska insider. If Mickey Joseph wins some of these games in the Big Ten West, their schedule gets tough now. Minnesota, Illinois, Purdue, Iowa, Wisconsin. But if Nebraska can win enough games to get to a bowl game, I was told he's going to get that job.
Yeah, I mean, look, Mickey Joseph and Jim Leonhard both absolutely have opportunities to earn the job. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe that both Nebraska and Wisconsin would look from within before making a decision from without. Now, look, they're using a search firm, especially in Nebraska. They're doing a very thorough search, and they've gotten tremendous interest from all over college football, from other people in the Big Ten, from other people, I think, in the ACC and the Big 12. Obviously, I think Bill O'Brien would have tremendous interest in that job or the Georgia Tech job. But these guys, yeah, they've got to do a lot, though, to get there. And Mickey Joseph's first game against Oklahoma obviously was a disaster, and Oklahoma is, frankly, not very good. So, yeah, it's one or both of those guys engineers a remarkable run to the finish. I mean, I think Jim Leonard's got to go at least 5-2 for that to be a practical thought for Wisconsin. I'm not sure what the number would be for Mickey at Nebraska. He does have tremendous support from the high school coaches in that state and because of his history there in the state. But again, you don't make a move like that if you think that you're going to promote from within, unless these guys just flat out blow you away.
I think it's, he's got to win about 3. I mean, that's what it looks like to me, John. It's like if he wins 3, they're going to be looking like 6-6. I don't know if that's great. We shall see. Maybe Nebraska will go down a different road. It's going to be interesting. How's that timing to you, John, when it comes down to it for Trev Alberts, the AD at Nebraska? I don't think he can wait around forever, and I just wonder, what's the timing have to be? Can he wait till the end of the year?
I don't think so. Certainly, you can't wait till the end of the year and have not done your due diligence, have not already had conversations, have not only talked with coaches, but spoken with coaches who have a clear and concise plan of how they're going to get Nebraska back. And as we've discussed before, Nate, the NIL is obviously big, but beyond that, the transfer portal. So Mickey Joseph is a great recruiter. He's a really good guy. I don't know him personally. I know some of his family. I know some people very close to him. I've never heard a bad word about him. So I would believe that he could help Nebraska in the transfer portal and on the recruiting trail, but you have to have a concrete plan. This is happening. I know you saw the story that we had on Football Scoop the other day. It's 54 coaching changes since September 7th, 2020 at the FBS level. 54 in 25 months. So you've got to have a hard and fast plan of how you're going to turn it around sooner than ever before.
Yeah, John Bryce on tonight, footballscoop.com, national writer. Last one for you. UCLA has the number 1 offense points-wise in the country. Chip Kelly, UCLA, they beat Utah. Some quality wins. Is UCLA the real deal in the Pac-12?
They've been building for this for a really long time. I think that UCLA is very much positioned to be there. USC will ultimately be that team, I believe.
Okay.
But it's year 1 for Lincoln Riley. So I like UCLA. I think they're very much a legitimate team. They've got to prove now that they can handle prosperity, which in the past, when they've had some decent starts, think a year ago, when they absolutely physically manhandled LSU and Ed Orgeron and really started the end of the Ed Orgeron era, then a week later they go and lose at Fresno State. So now, can UCLA handle prosperity? I think that's the key.
John Bryce in tonight. Good stuff. John D. Bryce 1 on Twitter. Follow him. If you're not, college football writer for footballscoop.com. John, great to have you as always. Thanks for coming on.
You got it, Nate. Go Braves for all the good it'll do.
I like it. John Bryce on tonight. By the way, I'm rooting for the Braves against the Phillies. By the way, on the record. I don't have a dog in the fight. Who am I rooting for? In Major League Baseball? That's really hard. I'm a Cubs fan. We're out of this thing back in May. We're out of this thing. So you have to have somebody that you root for in Major League Baseball playoffs in order to have like a vested interest. Like, I'm rooting for this team. It's more like I'm rooting against teams. Like I'm rooting against the Yankees. Okay, so I'm like going, I'm all in on Cleveland tonight. I mean, who wouldn't root for Cleveland against the Yankees? You know, the Yankees fans are, I'm tuning you out. I don't want to hear it. Come on, have a little fun with it. It's Cleveland against the Yankees. Cleveland's payroll, they're coming out of the Twins division. You got to root Yankees. By the way, an update from our listener. A shocking comeback in the ALDS just now. The Astros hit a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th to beat the Mariners 8-7. A 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th. And the Astros come back from the dead to win Game 1 against the Mariners 8-7. So is that right? Can I root for a team or can I root against teams? I'm rooting against the Yankees, and I am rooting against the Dodgers. Why is that? Let's see. Oh, they're the best team money can buy. They're the best teams money can buy. I always go against, they got all the payroll, all the stars. I want to see a little bit of upset. I like seeing some upsets. Speaking of this, there is a final in high school soccer. The Rapid City Stevens boys have won the AA semifinal 3-0 against Sioux Falls O'Gorman. That means Stevens is on to the state championship. The Stevens boys are playing in the state championship. They will be taking on Sioux Falls Lincoln. So how about this in soccer? The St. Thomas More boys are in the state championship this week against Sioux Falls Christian. The Stevens boys are in the state championship against Sioux Falls Lincoln. Some good soccer here in town. Congrats to those teams. Stevens boys on their way to the state championship against Lincoln coming up in high school soccer. We come right back on the Nate Brown Show with one of our favorite guests, Mike McFeely. He covers North Dakota State. That's the Dakota Marker Showdown this weekend. The Jackrabbits and the Bison, the two best teams in the FCS. Mike McFeely says, are the Bison underdogs? Is he trying to play a game here? Mike next.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show. Follow us and watch the show live on Twitter at Nate Brown Show.
This house is freezing again. Winter is coming. Will it be cold inside your house again? Scan the QR code on your screen right now. Renewal by Anderson's incredible Winter is Coming sale is here. Buy one window or patio door, get the second one of equal or lesser value for 40% off, plus an additional 5% off the entire project if purchased on the initial consultation. And listen to this. No money down, no interest, no payments for 12 whole months. Payments as low as $89 a month. Hurry, this sale ends October 15th. Scan that code. Visit RBARapidCity.com now.
Place for a pregame meal that really satisfies? Or maybe you want a place to take your all-star after the game. Or you're looking for a place to enjoy a delicious meal while watching your favorite team on the big screen TV. Valley Sports Bar and Grill has all the bases covered for all those things and more. Top-notch, friendly, and attentive service. Wall-to-wall big screen TVs with all the big games. And the absolute best wings in Rapid City. Valley Sports Bar. Make it your place. 1865 Valley Drive, Rapid City.
Here's what customers are saying about Anytime Auto Sales. Chris Syme, Rapid City.
Came across Anytime Auto Sales from a referral from a friend of mine. I'd gone in and met Brian and immediately felt quite comfortable, almost like a hometown feeling in a larger city, which I really hadn't come across. They've done everything from oil changes and tire rotations to a replacement of a transmission on my GMC Yukon. Now I bring all of my vehicles to them for any service work. I've referred multiple friends and family members there as well because they do a great job and I don't feel like I'm pressured into doing service work on any vehicle that is not required. I'm very happy that the friend of mine referred me to Anytime Auto Sales, and it was really nice and reassuring to find a service department. I am extremely happy with all of their work and the way that I'm treated there.
Sales and service you can trust. Anytime Auto Sales.
Anytime Auto Sales.
You want to feel important.
You want to be part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong.
We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it.
We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers.
We are normal people just like you, but our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more.
When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it.
We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors.
From the lake shores of Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota,
the fertile fields of Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa, to the wide open plains of North and South Dakota.
We are here for our hometowns.
And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the South Dakota Army National Guard. Aired by the South Dakota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Live from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Details Studio. Sales, service, and recreation. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hey, welcome back in on a Tuesday. It's been a fun show. Frank Schwab joined us, NFL writer, Yahoo Sports. We ran through a lot of stuff. Went out to Kevin Figures, AM 570, Los Angeles, home of the Dodgers. He says the Dodgers are going to take care of the Padres. Game 1 of the NLDS coming up. Craig Maddock joins us from Sioux Falls. A little East River, West River debate. We always enjoy that. John Bryce, moments ago, national college football writer for Football Scoop. A packed show tonight. If you missed anybody or any of the segments, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. You can download it where you find your podcasts, Apple, Google, Spotify. Listener text coming in. I said, I'm not ready for the NFL to have teams, multiple teams in Europe. Roger Goodell threw that out there. He said, well, we could have multiple locations potentially, maybe even a division here in Europe. I don't think that fits with the league. The travel, listener text coming in. What was this here? Nate, old guy, get off my lawn. Do people really travel to the away games anyway? Now they might if it's in London. Well, that's not what that's about, by the way. I mean, they're not doing it to have fans travel there. They're doing it for bigger dollars than that. Mike McFeely's on tonight. North Dakota State, South Dakota State. It's Dakota marker time. How about it? Inforum.com columnist, the McFeely Mess podcast. He's on Twitter at McFeely_Inforum. Mike, thanks for coming on. How are you?
I would go to London for a football game. I've never been to London, so I would love to go to London and see the Big Ben and the Tower of London and all of that. I'd love it.
That would get you to go to London just to watch an NFL football game. Then you would finally go to London.
Well, actually, I would go to London just to see London because I've heard it's wonderful.
Yes.
So I could do without the NFL game. But anybody who thinks, as you said, anybody who thinks about anything except making more money, obviously the NFL sees a path to making more than the billions it already makes.
Oh.
And I don't know why that is. I haven't looked into it enough, but everything the NFL does is about money, and so it doesn't matter about the fans or the players traveling.
Yes,
that's a good one. Because they're letting guys get their heads smashed in and sending them back out there on the field. So it's about the money.
I got you on that. I really do. I don't know if I'm ready for it. We'll see where that goes. Mike McFeely on. So let's go. College football, FCS. Are these the two best teams, SDSU, NDSU, by far in the country?
No, not at all. South Dakota State, I think, might be the best team in the country right now. As I have written and as I've said now for weeks, I am not sold on the North Dakota State team. I wrote a column in yesterday's forum at Inforum.com that said, despite what the bookies and the gamblers might say, I think that actually SDSU is a pretty solid favorite coming to this game at the Fargo Dome. The very insecure Jackrabbits fans and others were all over me trying to tell me that how could NDSU not be favored at home? This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. No, I've watched every snap of NDSU football this year, every single snap, multiple times. I have covered NDSU through all this dynasty for the last 12 years. I've seen every game. I know NDSU football. This NDSU team is not dominant. It is not good enough defensively to stake a claim to being dominant. And I think South Dakota State, if things go their way, like I think they're going to go, I think South Dakota State wins by double digits. So wow. I think that is going to put SDSU at the top of FCS. Now, don't misunderstand, okay? Everybody out there listening who's a South Dakota State fan, don't misunderstand. I'm not saying NDSU is a bad team. They are not. They are a really good FCS team. Their offense is just fine. But the deficiencies they have on defense play into the strengths of SDSU, and so therefore I think SDSU is going to win comfortably on Saturday. That leaves NDSU maybe the second best team, maybe the third best team, maybe the fourth best team, but as of right now, Tuesday, October 11th, I think that SDSU is the better team, and I think NDSU is not quite where they need to be defensively.
Interesting. The cynical South Dakota State fans, and I might throw myself in that category with you, Mike, say, come on, Mike, you're just saying this. You're setting us up here. You're setting us up.
No, but I don't work for North Dakota State. What incentive do I have to set anybody up? I'm being honest. Like I said, I've seen every NDSU team up close during this dynasty. What this team is lacking for the Bison is a dominant defensive line and linebackers that can fill holes and make tackles. NDSU is not good at linebacker. Okay, they are not good. They're playing a safety at linebacker because they didn't like what they had at linebacker because of a transfer, because of an injury, because a couple of kids haven't quite developed the way they thought they were going to. They've been left short at linebacker. Okay, defensive line, we all sort of missed it up here. We thought they're going to be fine, but as the season started, we all kind of went, ooh, maybe they're not quite as stout up front as they have been. There's been a couple of injuries, which are part of the game. I'm not making excuses. Part of the game that injuries happen. So they've lost 2 starters on the D-line. They're just not that strong up front. Their front 7 is not where it's been for the last 12 years, and so that's going to be trouble for them on Saturday. It might be trouble for them down the road against a Southern Illinois or against a UND. This NDSU team is, again, in the FCS world, they're really good. They're just not where they've been by their standards, and that gives SDSU an advantage.
Mike McFeely's on, Inforum.com columnist, talking Dakota Marker, NDSU hosting SDSU this weekend. He's here on the Nate Brown Show. How big of the home field advantage is the Dome?
Well, of course it's a big deal. Obviously it is. But the issue is, if you can't stop the run, if you can't stop Isaiah Davis, then how big of a deal is it? Will SDSU, get a couple false starts? Maybe. Will Mark Gronowski be affected by the crowd noise? Yeah, probably. But if all you got to do is turn around and hand it off to Isaiah Davis 25 times, and Isaiah Davis goes for 175 yards, then what's the big deal? And oh, by the way, South Dakota State's defense is outstanding.
They are.
South Dakota State's defense this year is better than NDSU's defense, and that's where the difference has always been between these two teams. Is NDSU could always find a way. You go back to 17, 18, those teams, even 19. NDSU's defense was probably always better than SDSU's. This year, that has been flipped. SDSU's defense, I think, is better, and so that's the difference in the game. Look, again, for the 1 millionth time in the last couple of days, NDSU's offensive line is the best in FCS. Hunter Lipke is an NFL draft choice. Their quarterback, Cam Miller, is just fine. Yeah. Offensively, they're just fine. But their strength, running the ball, is not a good matchup against South Dakota State. And their weakness, the defensive line and linebackers, is a terrible matchup for what South Dakota State does. NDSU's not terrible. They're not the 30th best team in FCS. I just don't know if they have enough to beat South Dakota State on Saturday.
That's interesting. My last question on it, when it comes to a game like this, do you believe that teams have other teams' numbers?
Well, I'll say this. For the last 5 years, Jason Eck, who's the former offensive coordinator for South Dakota State, he had NDSU's defensive coaches on their heels. He was good. Jason Eck was good. It wasn't always the greatest guy in the world toward NDSU. He kind of had that edge to him. I don't think Bison coaches, cared for Jason Eck a lot. I know fans didn't for sure, but Jason Eck had it dialed up offensively that he could find the weaknesses in NDSU's defense. NDSU's defensive coaches and coordinators were scrambling, trying to figure out what SDSU was going to do mid-game. And so he was in their heads. Did a great job. I don't know that Zach Lujan is that good, but I just think the talent difference this year up front for SDSU and NDSU is different, so that'll be able to carry SDSU to a victory on Saturday.
Wow, interesting. Great stuff tonight. Mike McFeely on, talking Dakota Marker, NDSU, SDSU, biggest game in the country, and FCS, Inforum.com, his work there. Mike, great to have you. Thanks for hopping on.
You're always glad to come on, Nate. Appreciate it.
Thanks for your time. Mike McFeely on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Good to talk Bison football. He's covered it a ton, as you might hear. And he says the Jackrabbits win by double digits? Come on. Mike, we went over and over and over and over there. Wow, much better SDSU is defensively. They're going to be able to run maybe 175 yards for Isaiah Davis for the Jackrabbits. Hang on a second. SDSU by double digits on the road at NDSU? I can't say that. I didn't cover NDSU all these years. I can't say it. I've seen these games over and over and over. They're not double-digit upsets on the road at the Fargo Dome. I think SDSU's good. That's going to be a battle Saturday. That is going to be a battle. It always is. SDSU has won before in the regular season. You know this. So the Jackrabbits, it's not like they've never beaten North Dakota State Bison. The Jackrabbits have. They haven't been able to get it done in the playoffs. They've beat them in the regular season, so I'm not saying they won't. Where are these two teams going to be as the weeks go by? Well, we'll get a little taste of it here this weekend. Jackrabbits on the way to the Fargo Dome. We'll talk to John Stiegelmeier on this show, head coach at South Dakota State, coming up later this week, as we always get Coach Stig on the program. We come right back with who's hot and who's not. Who's hot and who's not. I've got it for you. Did a Major League Baseball player actually, quit on his team? They're in the playoffs, and he got left off the roster. He's in my who's not next.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show.
At Ace Steel and Recycling in Rapid City, our goal is to make recycling your materials so quick, so easy, and so profitable that you'll become a lifetime recycler. At Ace Steel and Recycling, we buy, process, and ship scrap iron, automobiles, stainless steel, and aluminum, including cans and cast. We also buy insulated wiring, as well as copper, brass, lead, batteries, zinc, and tungsten carbide. Visit acesteelusa.com or give us a call at 342-8649. Ace Steel and Recycling, 2830 Eglin Street, Rapid City.
With 2 locations in Rapid City, Pizza Ranch is ready to serve your family. Every Wednesday is Kids Day. This is the best deal out there with the best buffet in town. One child 12 and under eats free for every regular priced adult at the Pizza Ranch Buffet Wednesdays. And don't forget their senior special every Tuesday for $8.99. The Pizza Ranch Buffet. It's all good at the Pizza Ranch with 2 locations in Rapid City. And remember, daily online specials for carryout or delivery at PizzaRanch.com.
Live from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Details Studio. Sales, service, and recreation. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
All right, let's get rocking and rolling, man. We're up against the number. Do we need to add an hour of this show? Do we need to add another hour? I mean, we're always bumping up to 6 o'clock. I got parent-teacher conferences tonight. They're waiting on me. Let's get rolling. Add another hour of the show? What's that mean for me? I'll have to figure that out. I better clear that with my wife. Hang on a second. That's the real story. The Nate Brown Show and Who's Hot and Who's Not, wrapping up the Tuesday show. Fun show tonight. Who's Hot and Who's Not, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. Kids Day tomorrow on the Pizza Ranch Buffet. Wednesdays, one child 12 and under eats free for every regular priced adult at the Pizza Ranch Buffet Wednesdays. It's open tomorrow 11 to 8. 2 locations. In my Who's Hot category, I'm just going to show some love to Stevens. I got to show some love to Stevens on the high school sports front. So last weekend, the Stevens won the state tennis title. So Rapid City Stevens won the state tennis title. So congratulations to the Raiders. They've had a good program going there, and they win the state tennis title. So that one's in the books. You know, some of these sports don't get as much coverage, so we got to give them some love there. And now the Stevens boys on the soccer side make the state championship. Can they bring home a title? We shall see. They play Sioux Falls Lincoln coming up in the state AA soccer championship. The Stevens boys won today 3-0 over Sioux Falls O'Gorman on the road. Congrats to Stevens. A good run with the state tennis title, and now the boys soccer side trying to make it happen in that state title. In my Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, really quickly, this is just bizarre to me. Aroldis Chapman has been the closer for the Yankees. I know Aroldis Chapman, you know, the flamethrower. He started with the Reds. He went to my Cubs, helped us win a World Series, barely. But nonetheless, he helped us. Now he's been over to the Yankees. He signed a big deal over there, 3 years, $48 million. He struggled this year big time. His ERA, 4.46. So the Yankees were thinking about leaving him off the postseason roster. They were thinking about it. Well, they made their decision this week. Why? Aroldis Chapman refused to attend a Yankees practice, and he said, if you tell me if I'm going to be on the roster, I'll be there. If you don't tell me, I'm not going to be there. They hadn't made their decision yet. So he didn't show up to practice for the Yankees over the weekend before the postseason here. So he made his own decision. He didn't show up for practice, so the Yankees left him off the roster. Aroldis Chapman, one of the great closers. He had a good run. Left off the postseason roster for the Yankees, partly because he didn't show up to a mandatory Yankees practice session. You tell me if I'm on the team or not. I don't think so, Aroldis. That's not how it works. Show up, be a teammate, you might be on the postseason roster. It turns out one of their relievers went down with Tommy John surgery, and Chapman would have been the next guy up. Now he's out. Yankees playing tonight. Coming right back tomorrow at 4 on the Wednesday show. We'll be ready to go. Thanks for listening. Catch the Nate Brown Show podcast tonight. Here's the Odd Couple.